The lecture hall stretched wider than any cathedral, its crystalline walls refracting the light of 3 distant suns. 200 species sat in ascending rows, their forms as varied as the stars themselves. Some breathed methane, others existed as electromagnetic patterns barely held together by containment fields. But they all shared one thing. They had survived the Galactic Academy's entrance trials. Professor Kexthor stood at the podium, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming obsidian black under the lights. The Vraktoan were legendary, warriors born on a planet where gravity crushed bones and atmospheric pressure could liquefy flesh. Of the 60 billion species in the known galaxy, only 12 had evolved on what the Galactic Council termed Deathworlds. Let me be clear, Kexthor's voice resonated through the universal translators embedded in each student's neural interface. Deathworld species are rare. We Vraktoon claim this distinction with pride. Our ancestors climbed from crushing depths, fought predators that could shatter starship hulls, survived temperatures that would vaporize most of you. He gestured to a holographic display showing his homeworld. Vrakto, a nightmare of volcanic hellscapes and hurricane-force winds that never ceased. Students murmured in their various languages, a symphony of clicks, whistles, and electromagnetic pulses. Only 11 other species can claim similar origins, Kexthor continued, his mandibles clicking with satisfaction. We are the galaxy's elite. The survivors. A hand rose in the back row. The professor's compound eyes swiveled. The creature that had raised her appendage was small, almost comically so. Bipedal, covered in a thin layer of fabric rather than natural armor, with soft skin that looked like it would tear at the slightest provocation. Her species file identified her as Human Origin Earth Classification Pending. Yes? Kexthor's tone carried barely concealed irritation. The human stood. Her name tag read, Lieutenant Sarah Chen, Terra Defense Force. She spoke with an unsettling calmness. Permission to ask a question, Professor? Granted. Have you ever heard the name Earth? The lecture hall fell silent. Even the methane breathers stopped their constant hissing. Kexthor accessed the galactic database through his neural link. Earth Class 4 Garden World, recently contacted. Pending full integration into... He paused. His mandibles froze mid-click. This must be a data error. It's not, Sarah said, stepping into the aisle. Every eye, sensor, and electromagnetic field in the room focused on her. Earth isn't classified as a death world because your surveyors never thought to check. They saw blue oceans and green forests and marked us garden world without landing. Impossible, Kexthor bristled. Death worlds are obvious. Vrakto announces itself with violence. Does it? Sarah's smile was predatory, an expression that sent instinctive warnings through half the species present. Professor, what's your gravity? 4.2 standard units. Earth is 1.0. We're your baseline. You evolved in 4 times our gravity, and yes, that's impressive. She began walking down the aisle, and several students instinctively recoiled. But let me tell you about Earth. Sarah's voice remained conversational, almost casual, which somehow made it worse. 70% of our planet is covered by water. Not the gentle pools you see on garden worlds. Oceans deep enough to swallow mountains filled with predators larger than your spacecraft. Pressure at our ocean floors would crush your exoskeleton like aluminum foil, Kexthor. And yet we dive there? For fun. A Shelnari student, essentially a floating jellyfish, pulsed with confusion. But your atmospheric readings show optimal oxygen levels. 21%, Sarah confirmed. Oxygen, one of the most corrosive substances in the universe. It literally burns things at the molecular level. We call it oxidation. We breathe fire and it keeps us alive. She paused. Most of you need specialized filters just to survive in our garden world air. Kexthor's confidence wavered. Your predators... We are the predators, Professor. Sarah's eyes glinted. We're pursuit predators. We don't have your armor or the Thranx's venom or the Kelvar's thermal vision. You know what we have? Endurance. We can run for days. We chase our prey until its heart explodes from exhaustion. Our ancestors killed everything that competed with us. Everything. She reached the front row. A small rabbit-like creature shuffled away from her. Earth has weather that makes Vrakto look peaceful. Hurricanes with winds that exceed 300 kilometers per hour. Tornadoes that can drive straw through concrete. Temperatures that swing 200 degrees between seasons. Lightning strikes that carry enough electricity to power cities. and hit our planet 8 million times per day. The holographic display suddenly changed, overridden by Sarah's neural interface. Earth appeared, rotating peacefully. See that peaceful blue marble? It's had 5 mass extinctions. The planet tried to kill everything on it 5 separate times. 99% of all species that ever lived there are dead. Her voice hardened. We're the 1% that refused to die. Kexthor tried to regain control. Your technology level suggests we've had nuclear weapons for less than a century, Professor. We've had spacecraft for barely longer. You know what we did when we developed nuclear fission? She laughed, a sound devoid of humor. We immediately weaponized it and dropped 2 bombs on ourselves, just to see what would happen. Then we built thousands more and pointed them at each other for 50 years. The lecture hall was deathly silent. We have recreational activities where we jump off cliffs with fabric wings, dive into water from heights that should kill us, and climb mountains where the air is so thin you need bottled oxygen. We box, hit each other repeatedly in the face as a sport. Our most popular games simulate warfare. Sarah placed both hands on the podium, leaning close to Kexthor. We have a substance called capsaicin. It's a chemical weapon plants evolved to stop mammals from eating them. It causes burning pain on contact. We cultivate it, breed it stronger, put it on our food, for flavor. That's... A crystalline student's voice chimed like breaking glass. That's insanity. That's humanity. Sarah straightened. We're still here because Earth tried everything to kill us and failed. We looked at a planet trying to murder us daily and said, nice try. Kexthor's exoskeleton had paled to gray. The council should have been informed. They were, Sarah interrupted. 3 months ago. Your surveyors refused to reclassify us. Too much paperwork, they said. But that's fine. Her smile returned. We don't need your classification to know what we are. She turned to address the entire hall. Earth is the only planet we know where life evolved, died, and evolved again multiple times. Where the sky randomly shoots electricity, where the ground randomly opens up and swallows cities, where frozen water falls from the sky and we've built entire civilizations around it. Sarah walked back to her seat, her footsteps the only sound in the vast chamber. So yes, Professor Kexthor, she said, settling into her chair. There are 13 Deathworld species in the galaxy, not 12. And we're the ones who didn't even realize we were supposed to be impressed by surviving. The professor stood frozen, his database frantically updating in his neural interface. Earth's classification blinked red, then yellow, then finally settled on a new designation. Deathworld Class 7, Extreme Environmental Hostility, Apex Predator Species, Caution Advised. In the back row, Sarah Chen smiled and opened her notebook, ready to continue taking notes. The other students kept their distance,